Hi, folks. Welcome back. So the vote has spoken. I thought Ginger might have caught up at the end there, but anyway, as Tuesday morning it stands, Nightwish, you guys have got it. So we're going to do High Hopes here, which is a Pink Floyd cover. I do know the original song. I've heard it many times, but years and years and years ago. So yeah, really looking forward to this now. So Pink Floyd for me were a band that I was introduced to way early on. You know, I was really, really young, like earlier than 10. You know, I think I've said before on the channel that my dad, you know, was hugely into music, had a massive vinyl collection. And so, yeah, we were exposed to all sorts of music as kids. Pink Floyd. Ones I remember listening to early on was the album Metal, which had that amazing song Echoes at the end. You know, it's like a big journey. You know, we used to sit, I remember like as kids, used to sit with the headphones on, listening to that. And sort of, my dad put this image in my head about like flying over forests and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, so really immersive, amazing music. Wish You Were Here was another album we listened to. And as I got a little bit older, probably when I was 13 or 14, I remember buying Dark Side of the Moon on CD. So yeah, and this is off the Division Bell, I'm pretty sure. If there are any Pink Floyd fans out there that want me to do any Pink Floyd reactions, do bear in mind the material that I've just mentioned, you know. I've also seen one or two live concerts. I remember sort of live in Pompeii. I remember the band playing to like an empty, sort of there was no audience there, you know. It was kind of cool. So yeah, anyway, I've been enjoying Nightwish as well, as some of you know. So I've got 2 reaction videos already on Nightwish. Started off with Ghost Love Score. Links above, links in description. I also did Romanticide. Apologies for Romanticide. Unfortunately, I didn't know whenever I uploaded it at the time that the source of that was from a Blu-ray rip that wasn't at the proper speed. Who could have predicted that kind of thing? Anyway, I still enjoyed it. You know, I had no idea that it was like at a slightly reduced tempo or whatever. So hopefully I've got the right version from this. I'm just going on High Hopes, Nightwish. So hopefully this is the right one. So as usual, without further ado, let's get into it. So after 3, 2, 1, go.
Beyond the horizon, oh, the place we lived when we were young, in a world of magnets and miracles. Our thoughts strayed constantly, and without boundary, the ringing of the division bell had begun. Along the long road, on down to the causeway, will they still meet there by the cut? There was a ragged band that followed in our footsteps, running before time took our dreams away.
Okay, yes, right. This is superb, liking it. The very first thing that stood out to me there was, you know, when you're playing live as part of a band, sometimes you're using in-ear monitors, you know, and you can get a lot of bands use click tracks, you know, so if everybody has an in-ear monitor and they're all playing to the same click, then it's very easy to keep time with one another. It's hard to tell here, the guys with long hair, I don't know if they're using click tracks or not in here. If they're not, then they're going to have to rely on their innate sense of timing, and also maybe visual clues with one another. Anyway, did you notice this happens all the time? Do you notice that the keyboardist, you know, when he's keeping the riff going there, that the audience clapping is getting ahead of him? So I know that whenever you're playing on stage and the people start clapping, it's a general tendency is, I don't know, it must be the energy that's in the crowd. The crowd always starts to go faster than whatever the band is playing, and that can be an incredibly hard thing to do. But if he has any of your monitors, it's going to make it a little bit easier for him to really focus on that click. If he doesn't, then he's doing a super job of keeping time with the song and ignoring the fact that this source from the audience is basically would throw him off because they're out of time. Anyway, I also like the keyboards being tilted forward. The only other time I remember seeing that before was seeing Children of Bodom live before. Now, I can't remember the name of their keyboardist, but I know that he used to put the keyboard forward, which was cool from an audience perspective because you actually get to see the hands. That's one thing about the piano player or the keyboardist. Typically, if you're standing on stage playing, you don't really get to see the physical interaction with the piano in the same way that you do with the fretboard and the guitar. So I like that. Also, with the song, and we've got in the original Pink Floyd song, we've got these sort of like church bells, sort of dum bum 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 bum, that sort of like is repeated throughout the song. I kind of assumed that we would have that sample or something like that in here, but it's kind of cool that he has incorporated the notes from that motif into the keyboard riff. So yeah, already we're getting a very slightly different arrangement from the Pink Floyd, but I can hear already it's got a Nightwish stamp on it with those sort of ethereal keyboard sounds, synthesizer sounds. Very emotional already. I like the vocalist also is very similar to the Pink Floyd original actually, because it's not a powerful operatic vocal or whatever, but it's a very sort of almost spoken word, very storyteller kind of voice, so far I'm enjoying what I'm hearing and seeing.
By the cut, there was a ragged
I think the drummer might have in-ears there, in which case we could be dealing with in-ear monitors.
that followed in our footsteps, running before time took our dreams away, leaving the myriad small creatures that tried to tie us to the ground, till life consumed by slow decay. The grass was greener, the light was brighter.
Yes.
With friends surrounded, the lights of wonder. Looking beyond the embers of the bridges glowing behind us, to a glimpse of how great it was on the other side. Steps taken forwards, but sleepwalking back again, dragged by the force of some inner tide. When the honey sounded you with full like a pearl.
Oh yeah, you said the operatic singing now.
The dizzy heights of that window.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I actually really like the fact that they're keeping that military feel. I think if I'm right in saying the original song does have like a sort of military feel on the snare there. We've got the very symphonic metal aspect of this cover going on, but it's still very recognizable to the true song, and it does still have that sense of melancholy to it. Everything's a wee bit more dialed up, a bit more dramatic. The Pink Floyd song always seemed a wee bit more desolate sounding to me. It's quite a sad song, beautiful song. There's a bit more power in this one here, but I do like it. I think it works very well. So let's go back a little bit again. Nice tone on the guitar too.
But forever, desire and ambition, there's hunger still unsatisfied. Our weary eyes still stray to the horizon. Though down this road we've been so many times. The grass was greener, the light was brighter, with friends surrounding. The night so wonder, with friends surrounding. The dawn is glowing, the water flowing, the endless river.
Must be time for the guitar solo. That's nice. Guy's got a really good voice. There we go. Nice one.
Quietos.
Yeah. So I think they did a really good job of that. You know, they did kind of make it feel like a Nightwish song. If that was the first time I'd ever heard that, and I didn't have the Pink Floyd reference, I think I would have enjoyed it more. So don't get me wrong. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. But the Pink Floyd song is a sensational song, and the way it's constructed and all the different elements and the strings and, you know, the organic instruments that are in it. It's kind of a masterpiece, really. They did a fantastic job. All the plans immaculate, good energy, you know, very, very energetic, especially towards the end, you know, with the crescendo building and building and building. And it's quite clear, you know, you could feel the emotion in the music. Particularly, you could even see it even in the drummer. And that's quite a rare thing, you know, to see a lot of emotion from a drummer. You know, I'm sure it's not that rare, really. Like, but I mean, it's not something that ever really comes on my radar when I'm watching a drummer playing, thinking, oh, this guy's emotional. You know, I could tell from the body language of the drummer, you know, and all the other members and the keyboardists in particular, they're very emotional. And, you know, music is always so much better when people really invest all of their being into it, you know, so they did a superb job with the song, really. I just don't know if it was on a par with the original one, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I'd be surprised if any of you took that in the wrong way, because, you know, the Pink Floyd song, let's be honest, it is a masterpiece. And Dave Gilmour is one of the best lead rock guitarists anyway, of a generation. Um, if I recall correctly, the outro solo originally on that was played on a lap steel guitar, which you can kind of mimic a little bit on electric guitar with a slide. You can play on the slide there, and you get that sort of crying sound. So I really liked the Empu, if I got his name right. I really liked Empu's take on the solo because it was different really to the Dave Gilmour. I appreciated the fact he did something different with it. I was a little bit worried whenever the tapping part was really melodic and really heartfelt. I really liked that. And then there was a tiny element of the shred came in. I was worried for a second that it might just turn into a shred fest with those chords in the background. But fortunately, he curbed that. So he just, I think I've mentioned this in previous videos that, he's a very tasteful player. That is the thing where whenever you're building emotion in a song, and when you're playing guitar and you hear yourself, I'm a guitarist, I do play keyboards obviously as well, but when you're playing guitar on stage, you've got the crowd there, you can hear yourself, is a temptation to go like whittly whittly, so to hold back on that shows a lot of restraint. So yeah, I really liked his solo. I do recall the Dave Gilmour one feeling a lot more pained, it hit me a lot more emotionally, but I mean, it's Dave Gilmour, and he wrote the song. So yeah, great version, nice to hear the bassist there, Marco, I think his name is. Kind of curious to hearing some more songs with him singing on them. So perhaps you can kind of let me know in the comments what else to check out with him. He can obviously hold the stage himself with his vocal, very storytelling vocal, so I think they did a very good job on this. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, by the way, the poll, thank you very much for voting on the poll. Don't worry, those other songs that I've listed in that, I'm going to do them. So they will come. It's just, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a choice as to what order they come in, because, I have a bit of a busy week ahead of me here. So hopefully this should be you should be watching this on Friday. This is Tuesday, I've filmed this. So if you've enjoyed this reaction, as always, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and there'll be more. Don't forget to check out the rest of the channel. More reactions, performances, yada, yada, yada. You've heard it all before. I'll see you again next time.